Hello, how you guys doing? You guys doing good? I hope so. I hope so. It's a beautiful day out here in Texas. Not that I've seen it. I stay inside all day because I have no reason to ever go outside. I hate being outside. Just becoming forklift certified now will not remove your previous infractions. Okay, fair. That being said, however, I'm just going to play a video game. I won't actually get forklift certified, so I can still do crimes on forklifts. I mean, I could do crimes on forklifts anyway. It's actually pretty easy to do a crime on a forklift, isn't it? Like, pretty much anything that you could do in a car. I don't know. Can you speed on a forklift? What's the maximum speed of a forklift? Sorry, we're 1 minute 20 into this and I'm already off track. What is the maximum speed for a forklift? 10 miles an hour. Okay, so I don't think you can get speeding tickets with it. Like, I don't think you can go fast enough to get a speeding ticket. You could go under speed. Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Anyway, we're doing, am I the asshole again? You can technically drive in the bike lane. Yeah, you could drive in traffic. Am I the asshole for throwing away gifts given by my mother-in-law after husband gave ultimatum on decluttering? Feels like a yes. I'm just gonna say it. We got the thing up top that way. It says all the stuff that I normally think that, yeah, these are probably fake and all that, but whatever. For context, DH and I, dear husband? What is DH? Okay. Dickhead. Okay. I talked to my channel manager guy from Screenwave, and I was like, so what's the deal with these new updates to YouTube? Like, are they real? Like, is it actually a thing? And he's like, yeah, I mean, you're supposed to not cuss a lot. Look at the exact verbiage he used. I said, are the changes to cursing anything to be worried about? Having looked at the rules before, it seems more lax. They said, yeah, they're becoming more strict on the terms of policies. I wouldn't curse at all in the first 15 seconds, sure, of any video, and try not to do it excessively throughout the video. And I asked if he had an explanation on what excessively means. And he said, they're not exactly clear, but YouTube mentions that the majority of the video should not contain profanity. Otherwise, it could be subject to getting hit with the yellow $ limited ads. How much is it? Like, I read that wordage too, but I was hoping that they could have some sort of, I don't know. How much is a majority of 2 hours? How much of my 2-hour stream am I allowed to say naughty words with? I said naughty words instead of an actual naughty word, so that way I could maybe bring it down a little bit. I doubt that I'll ever be able to actually not be, like, once a minute? Once an hour? Like, for me, like, excessive is, like, multiple times in a sentence. But for some people, it's once at all. Who knows? YouTube doing their vagueness. All right. For context, DH and I have a long-standing issue with our definition of clutter/mess. To him, everything is clutter or unnecessary. I don't count myself as a hoarder, but I agree that maybe the kids have too many toys and I have too many scarves. But hear me out for the petty details, and I'm sure will sound silly, but here it comes. The other day, a friend was visiting and the chat veered towards a website that has really cool gadgets. My husband makes the sneering comment that in 2023 his aim is to have less stuff in the house, pretending to be a good boy for a minute, not more. and went on to point out a few objects around our living room and named them that I keep, a plant that I purchased as our first living thing that we bought our house 10 years ago, a decorative item, and a candle lantern. Maybe I was hormonal, maybe I was having a bad day, maybe it was a culmination of many years of fighting over clutter, but that comment, especially out of the blue, with a visitor over, made me really angry. So later that day, in very clear example of cutting off my nose to spite my face, I went to throw away the particular items that he described as clutter. So now our 4-meter long media unit only has the TV and Alexa. I miss my plant. Come on, man. Really? Sad, man. But then I thought, if we're decluttering, why stop there? Hey, calibrated gals and steelies. Hey, everybody, actually. So over the course of a few days, I went around the house throwing away things that he had previously complained about or questioned the existence of. Eventually, I landed on things that don't seem to bother him, like an old electric photo display, a gift from his mom that we never set up, a bin, large frame painting, also a gift from her, but never put on the wall after we removed it from our house for renovation, was also sitting on the wall behind an armchair for about 9 months. I wasn't allowed to do it alone due to the weight, but every time I mentioned it over the months, he said, I'll do it later. Clutter, right? Bin. Needless to say, he was not happy. How dare I throw away a gift from his mom? Mind you, I threw away a lot of other things given by my mom or friends or family. We can tell they're British already. And I rebuffed him by adding that my definition of clutter was, if it has no purpose, is not being used, not intended to be used, and not bringing joy, it's clutter. Clearly, his definition of clutter is things that don't belong to him, that he didn't pick or didn't care about. Now we had a huge fight, and yet I am continuing my decluttering crusade, every day throwing out items or giving them to charity. He thinks I've gone mad. And then I ask, am I the asshole for throwing away his mom's gifts without asking? You're both adult children. Like, this is the kind of vindictive kind of crap that I would do most of the time. But like, oh my God. That doesn't mean I don't suck. Well, also calling it a bin. Everyone sucks here is my thing. Really? Okay. I want to hear, I mean, like, I guess it's, I mean, like, he's being a dick for saying only certain things are bad. Sure, but I threw away gifts given away by my mother-in-law without consulting my husband. He thinks I'm angry. Absolutely, declutter all his stuff to the curb. Divorce. Come on. Not everything requires a divorce. This is something that you guys could have figured out had you just been adults about. She's 7 years older than me. How are you that much more of a child than me? On some of the questions of why we are even together, couples have long-standing arguments for all sorts of reasons. The kids, the wider family, the holidays, the tidying, the life management, the clutter, the list goes on. Just because you have something you disagree on doesn't mean that you don't love each other or need to get a divorce. In my opinion, others may disagree. On maliciously compliant, point taken. To an extent, he nags about clutter while always expecting me to one to be acting on it. Seems like he thinks that he's not a contributor to the cluttering. So if I'm solely responsible for decluttering, then it comes with consequences. The clutter I am throwing away is on shared spaces. I would never go into a personal drawer of his and throw away a personal item. If he wants his media unit without a potted plant I got when we bought the house, fine. Display above the media unit will not have a decorative beer mug that we had bought at Oktoberfest. Yeah, if you argue at all, like, this is like really asshole-ish behavior by her part. Obviously from his part, like that goes without saying. Twins. Yeah, no, I didn't see additional context that made it less that she was an asshole. I don't... Why? Who? How? I mean, it's malicious compliance, but it kind of makes you a dick all the same, yeah? Not the asshole. Throw him out and get another plant. You'd be happier. Agreed. Not the asshole, OP. Okay, so whatever the comment was that made the most sense got deleted or removed from the mods. I have no idea what they could have said. I bet there are things left unsaid. Yeah, I mean, everyone always tells their story from their perspective, and they always paint themselves in the best light possible. It's just like how humans work. You're not going to be like, yeah. So anyway, I was running this red light, and there was this guy, and I just slammed into the back of him. Just absolutely obliterated the back of his car. And anyway, I think it's his fault. You know? Like, you're going to be like, oh, there's this semi that was behind me, and, like, I had to go through the light, and then this guy, he just braked out of nowhere, and, like, I didn't have time to stop because I had to keep going because of the truck, and I hit him, and he saw me. He, like, signaled from, you know, to go left, so I thought he was going to go left, and then he didn't, and I just hit him, you know? So it's his fault, you know? It's like, no. I mean, that's the thing, is like the judgment that the bot figures out for whether or not they're not the asshole or whatever is based on whatever the must voted thing is. So am I the asshole for trespassing on my neighbor's yard while picking up after my dog? From March to June last year, our backyard was under renovation. It was supposed to be finished by May, but it took a couple of months longer than expected. During that time, I had to relieve my dog by walking him around the neighborhood instead of the backyard. Well, there's this one particular neighbor during the time period who complained about us letting our dog poop in his yard. Happened twice. He watched us pick it up at the time, each time, but that wasn't good enough, I guess. We explained to him our situation and that we don't understand the inconvenience. 99% of the time, we were able to avoid his yard because our dog just pooped somewhere else, or he wasn't even outside to see it happen, so it wasn't a problem. During this time, I was 9 months pregnant, 8 weeks postpartum. I had a beautiful baby boy in mid-May and was on maternity leave. One particular day in June, I decided to quickly take the dog out to check the mailbox while my baby was sleeping. The man who complained has a community mailbox right in front of his house. I stopped at the mailbox and my dog started sniffing, popped a squat, and pooped. Stepping onto his lawn, I stepped onto his lawn and started picking it up. The old man was outside at the time and he flipped out, started screaming at me, and threatened to call the cops for trespassing. I asked him, do you want me to just leave the poop there? Because I can't pick that up without stepping into your grass for 5 seconds. He screams at me to pick up the fucking poop and leave. I said, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I told him that he's being crazy and he shouldn't be mad at the people who try and pick up after these dogs. He said, I already asked you multiple times. It's the principle of it. Then I told him, I already told you multiple times that our house is under construction. I'm just trying to get home to a newborn baby as soon as possible and check the mail. Just as frustrated as you are. New renovations were supposed to be finished 2.5 months ago. He said, I don't freaking care about your house or your goddamn baby. I'm calling the cops. I responded with, okay, go ahead. They're going to think you're crazy. I picked up the poop and quickly left, probably. I've never had a stranger scream at me before, so I was quite shaken up. Am I the asshole for trespassing on my neighbor's yard for 10 seconds to pick up my dog? Well, now it's 10 seconds. It's doubled. I want to double check something. Ooh, negative a bunch of karma. Negative 100 karma. The fuck did you say? Why didn't you just have your dog poop in your front yard, right? I did. He would sniff around and sometimes he pooped there, sometimes he didn't. This particular day he wasn't feeling it, I guess. It was random where he chose to poop. Change of routines was an adjustment for him. He's a good dog, not having a backyard, and suddenly having to share a mom and dad with a baby is a lot for a dog to adjust to. You're the asshole. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, hot take. He's the ass. This person's the asshole. She's the asshole. Like 100%. And I'm actually kind of confused why people are saying that she's not. Like, why are you taking your dog to go poop in other people's yards? Like, just hang out in your front yard. But she didn't want to, man. Like, I'm so tired of, like, people just leaving their dog shit all over the place. And, like, I don't believe that she picks it up every time. Because it's like, how the fuck does he know? You know? And if you know that one guy is super, like, weird about it, don't let your dog there. Like, keep your dog on a shorter leash so the dog can't go poop on his yard. And then he ends up pooping on the sidewalk or whatever. Fine. Or within reach of the sidewalk so you can pick it up. Like, this is like such not an issue that could have been solved by just... It's not his mailbox. It's a mailbox for 20 houses. It wasn't constant. It was maybe 4 or 5 times over a 2.5 months time period. He asked you multiple times and you kept doing it. Are you serious? Yeah. Like, seriously, just make some effort. Your post is implying that it wasn't a problem most of the time because either you took him somewhere else or you did it while you thought your neighbor wasn't watching. Even knowing that he wasn't, he doesn't want you to. Doing it behind his back does not mean it's not a problem. You're not entitled to someone else's yard if they don't want your dog shit in it. Exactly. Like, my yard is not your dog's toilet. No, get the fuck out of here. I know some people are going to be against me on this one, but, like, seriously, like, it's not his fucking problem that her backyard is being renovated or that they have a baby. That has nothing to do with him. Like, just don't bring your dog to shit on his lawn. Like, it seems like everyone else in this neighborhood doesn't care. Literally, just don't shit on that one guy's lawn. Like, he's asked you to not, and it seems like you don't care. There's a new comment? Okay. The dog likes the smell of the yard? Well, go to hell. Yeah, no, I think that she's the asshole. Like, is this the biggest deal in the world? No. But it could be even less of one by her just, like, avoiding his yard. Am I the asshole for not making extra pancakes for my niece? Highly depends. I woke up at 5 a.m. craving pancakes while on vacation with my in-laws. So I decided to make myself and my son, since we were the only ones awake beside my husband who doesn't eat pancakes. My sister-in-law's daughter came downstairs just as my son was finishing up and started crying because there are no more pancakes for her. I tried to comfort her, but I have really bad morning sickness after I eat, and I started to feel sick, so I had to take her up to her parents who were still sleeping. Long story short, my sister-in-law was upset that I only made pancakes for myself and my son when there are others in the house that needed to eat breakfast. She said I was selfish. I should have known that my niece would have wanted some too, so I could have made some extra in case. Like, kids wake up at weird times? Like, I can see, like, 5 a.m. is a weird time, you know? But it sounds like she's pregnant, hence the morning sickness thing. Like, should have made the pancakes. Didn't. Would have been better if they had. It's not a whole lot of story here. I guess that makes you an asshole. Very light asshole-ish. Majority of people said not the asshole. I mean, like, I'm on the fence about it because it's just like... Also, like, couldn't you just, like, make another round of pancakes? Like, the niece comes downstairs just like, you already have the shit for pancakes together. Just make more pancakes. Like, oh, you're awake. Let me make you some fresh. If the kid's weird about that, then whatever. Yeah, OP doesn't necessarily have to do it. Maybe the dad can do it since she's like got to go throw up. Like, maybe you can be like, look, honey, can you make some pancakes for crying niece for pancakes? Like, kids are always assholes about stuff, but like, I don't know. I feel like that was a solvable thing. Also, can I just say this? And I know this is a little thing, and I know no one else cares. I care. This banner annoys the hell out of me. You want to know why? Right between the T and the H, they did a color fill for this whole area, and they didn't get that spot right there, so it's just white right there. It's so small, but I see it every single time I do this. There's another one right here, sort of. So I guess they're the asshole. There was a better solution there. I feel like it's not that bad. OCD? No. Not everything is a mental who's a what's it. You could ad block the banner. It doesn't bug me that much. It's just, yeah. Am I the asshole for snitching on 2 passengers for having a dog out of its carrier during an 8-hour flight? Highly depends. My wife and I, we're both 24. Or OP is a lesbian? I have to assume that's like anyway. We're on a roughly 8-hour flight. The passengers in question were seated right in front of us. 2 things to note. Unrelated couple was bringing their dog on the flight, didn't have space in their dog in their assigned seats, changed the seats since it wasn't a full flight, and to be a diagonal from us. A couple this story is about also had a similar situation where their assigned seat wasn't giving them enough space to have their dog to be under the seat, so they switched seats to be right in front of us. We're now sitting behind 2 dogs who would get into random barking fights with each other. After takeoff, the couple in front of us takes the dog out of its carrying case and just holds it. You can see through the gonna go with like wrist crevice. Pretty sure that it says M/F. So that's either male to female, or I don't know what this is. Like male wife, girl husband. What am I hooked on? Just cable. I'm stuck. What in God's name has happened here? Okay, there we go. I can move around a little bit better. Regardless, I don't think that's gonna come up in the story. Let's see. We can see through the wrist crevice or west crevice that the dog is just out on the airplane. During this time, the crew had started the meal service. There was a definite dog smell in our area. Not sure if it was the dog being out or having two dogs right next to each other. My dog and I are literally staring at the dog in front of us being out and are debating on whether or not it's allowed. We didn't want to bring it up because of our flight attendant. If it was allowed, only to look stupid and potentially make enemies, so we decided to wait it out. As meal service got closer to us, they started scrambling to put the dog back in its case. A flight attendant saw and told them they weren't allowed and the dog shouldn't be out. They tried explaining to them, but they said it was against the rules and left it at that. At this point, we knew it wasn't allowed and raised our concerns if it happened again. A few hours go by and it happens again. Flight attendant was right next to us. My wife told him that the dog was out, so they got scolded again. The husband tried to explain it was an emergency. They were trying to calm the dog down. They said rules are rules. A few minutes later, one came by a bit more sternly, said that they could not have another situation where another flight attendant has to say something to them again without a medical note saying the dog was supposed to be out. The dog is to remain in the carrier. Then, an hour or so before the flight was about to land, the husband turns to us, apologizes for the flight and for their dog, and tells us that they had to book this flight in an emergency for her wife's parents had a tragic accident and they were doing whatever they could to get there. At this point, my wife and I just look at each other and now we feel like a-holes. After he told us, we told him that it was fine and we conveyed our condolences and neither of us spoke of it again. Are we the asshole for snitching on a couple for having their dog out of a case after finding out very sad news? I mean, like, that's completely unrelated to whether or not the dog thing was happening. Like, what crimes am I, like, what has to happen in my life for me to be allowed to, like, just rob a bank? Like, if my house catches on fire, am I allowed to rob a bank and everyone just be like, oh man, yeah, that's totally fine. Thank you. Yeah, we will go ahead and just put the money in the bag. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it, man. Life's hard. You know? Like, am I just, like, are you just allowed to do random stuff? As long as bad things happen to you too? How bad does something have to be in order for you to be able to get away with shit? You know? No, you're not the asshole. That has nothing to do with the story. It's a low-key, like, Karen move, but, like, stab someone. I'm depressed, not guilty. Dude, oh my god, I can get away with so much stuff. Your house has to burn down, your grandparents are dying of cancer, and you stubbed your toe. There you go. This is I mean, like, how could we have handled this situation better, I guess? You're forklift driving without a certification. What's your defense? I stubbed my toe this morning, and my favorite show is not getting a renewal on Netflix. So, you know. Oh, thank you. I was just fixing the wire. The wire for the microphone, so if I rolled back, I wouldn't. I think this is one of those things as well, is that you're going to focus on it hyper, like hardcore because you're 8 hours and it's right in front of you and you have literally nothing else to do. This, I mean, like, low-key an asshole because it just doesn't really feel like it was necessary, but I could see myself doing this. It seems like they were trying to comfort the animal rather than the other way around. Like, to get it to stop barking. But I mean, you were told not. Yeah, I can't really be expecting. Yeah, like, we have these calm treats that we give the cats when we bring them on trips. Like if we drive them somewhere, we haven't tried putting them on planes yet, but and it, I think it's like weed or something. It just like they get real chill, you know. Dogs do not want to stay in a bag that long. It's, I mean, it's a security thing. Like, what if that dog got out and bit someone, or pissed all over the place, or got in a fight with the other dog? I don't know, man. I get why the rule exists. Yeah, dog allergies. Am I the asshole for throwing out the dinner my husband and I had planned? Oh no. Oh no. Me and my husband have been living off of mostly Funston meals and takeout for the last few years, but as a New Year's resolution, we wanted to make start making more home cooked meals. This was his idea, and I was all for it. We planned a big meal to kick it off with a roast chicken and lots of sides so we could save and eat throughout the week. The day before, I prepped a bunch of veggies for the sides and spices. I grow them, but never really used them for cooking the day before. The day to cook, everything came, and he said he wanted to go hang out with his friends, which was fine. I said he'd be back by a certain time so we could start making dinner together. At that time, came and went, so I started cooking the chicken, but I asked that he'd be back to help with the sides. Again, that didn't happen, and by the time everything was done, he was still out drinking with buddies. And when I called, somewhat angry, he hung up on me. I took all the food and threw it in the dumpster. I know it was a waste of perfectly good food, and I'm wrong for that, but I was mad, and this... Like, everyone sucks here? Okay. I know it was a waste of perfectly good food. I'm wrong for that. I was mad that this thing we were supposed to be doing together turned out to me just being cooking while he went out and got drunk with friends. He thinks I'm the asshole for throwing everything out in anger. My reasoning is that if he wanted to start cooking home meals, but then bailed on me the second I asked him to help. Like... I think everyone sucks. Like sometimes your significant other will go out and see their friends. Am I upset? Am I the asshole? Upset that my step sibling is in the will. Who cares? I recently found out that my dad, who missed a lot of my childhood to have a very successful career, has set up his will so that all of his money will go to my stepmom. They met in my late teens, and then if my stepmom passes, my step siblings are entitled to equal parts in the will, along with my brothers and I. But I'm guessing she could remove us completely if she wanted. My stepmom is heavily in debt when my dad met her, and my step siblings now live more entitled lives than my brother and I, despite not coming from money. Petty example, will wear and buy designer items and are very image based. My stepbrother even told my brother to leave the house once just because he wanted to throw a party at my dad's house. He called my autistic brother a joke for refusing to leave, even though he felt like we were more entitled to be there. How old are you? How old is everyone here? Can't say anything to my dad without sounding like an asshole. I feel like he hasn't protected us at all. Edit. This did not come from anywhere, come out of anywhere, and me just wanting money. My dad emailed me with this information, otherwise it'd be none the wiser and living long happily, not knowing or questioning anything. I don't see how you're the asshole here. Like, I always feel like arguing over inheritance is more trouble than it's worth. Honestly, this feels like a conversation that should be had. Just, I mean, again, it's up there in the thing. Do I have curse words in the thing? No. Like, literally just... I mean, like, the step siblings suck. I don't think there's an option for that. Because, like, making fun of someone with autism so that way you can party. Hey, it's Soki. How you doing? Will I be the asshole if I left my disabled sister's home for a week to see my long-distance boyfriend? I'm 25. I'm supposed to see my long-distance boyfriend, 23, in a different country in a few days. I'm currently at home from school break, so it's really the only time I can go and see him before my semester starts. My sister is developmentally disabled, so even if she's in her 20s, she operates at effectively a 10 to 13-year-old level. While she can do most things, cook and dress herself, she cannot drive, and she doesn't know how to navigate any emergencies. Like if there's a fire or a home burglary, she would just have no idea how to handle it. She also is emotionally needy and sometimes has schizophrenic delusions that she manages with medications, but sometimes causes her to act spacey in ways that she may turn the oven on too high or forget something is in the microwave or in there, or microwave popcorn for 99 minutes and not check. I love my sister. I spent a lot of my free time spending with her and my parents and parenting her because my own parents are mostly useless on that front. Okay, your parents suck. My dad sprung this on me because he had to go on a work trip this week. He didn't know about my plans with my boyfriend because I don't really tell him anything about my life, and he rarely, if ever, needs to travel for his job. However, he told me it's important, and it's how he financially supports his/my sister's lives. He told me tough luck and I need to stay home with her. My other family can't look after her, as a lot of family are verbally abusive to her due to her condition. She doesn't feel comfortable with them. And my other sister is a resident doctor and spends 12 hours outside of her tiny apartment. Basically, I'm the only one available to watch her. I floated ideas of hiring a babysitter for her this week, but my dad immediately shut down a stranger taking care of her. My boyfriend and I's relationship is very strained because of the distance already. I had to cancel last time for a school thing and made it pretty clear that if I canceled again, he would seriously consider our relationship because it's embarrassing for him to tell his family I couldn't come. I don't know what to expect to do except make sure that I'm available for my sister to call 24/7 in case something happens, or I might lose someone I love. I asked him if he could change to flying over here and stay with me, but he said he already has plans there and he can't cancel. Will I be the asshole if I left my sister alone for a week to see him? It sounds like she might die if you do that. Like, she might skip out on her medication, or she might, like, burn the house down or something. Like, you gave, like, 3 good examples of things that could go wrong? Some people gave me options like leaving before my dad did. Oh my god. What is that? What is that? So it become his problem. He would drop my sister off at my abusive relative's house, and she would become very depressed, anxious, and probably cry every day. As my boyfriend, if he would come here, he said no. He cannot change his plans because he already told his family. He also said, I didn't come, we are over. I guess this might be the end of the relationship if I don't figure out something or what. Okay. So everyone sucks here. A sibling should not have to take care of their... Yeah, but it sounds like mom is out of the picture. So... He's not understanding at all that, like, her sister is literally disabled. Yeah. Wow. Oh, there's an update here. Thought I would make a post here instead of responding to individual comments in the main post. Decided not. Yeah. I mean, everyone sucks here. I feel bad for the kid because, like, if there was, like, another family member who could take care of her, like, everything would be fine. But your family sucks, man. And unfortunately, it does sound like you probably need to, like, I mean, like, listen, if your boyfriend is gonna be like this, like, there's so little you can actually do about this. Okay, yeah, the sister that is disabled is not an asshole. But the options are everyone sucks here or you're the asshole, and clearly the boyfriend sucks. She sucks, OP sucks. Deciding I'm not leaving my sister alone. I was really desperate at the time to save my relationship and just needed an objective opinion that wasn't charged with emotions. My sister's condition is very complicated and she has a degree of independence, but she's still a long way from being fully there. She suffers after being alone for too long. She confided to me that she thinks of self-harming herself when she's alone. And even though our family is really shitty, she thinks it's worse to be alone than be with him. Oof. Holy crap. Hearing that made me feel ashamed for ever thinking of leaving her alone for a week. Commenters said I should look into group homes for my sister and cut off my obviously shitty dad. I'm aware of what my father is doing to me and my sister's is wrong and warrants no contact, but he holds the legal keys to my sister. Cutting him off means effectively cutting her off. It's nothing I can do. I can only dance to the tune of his music just to make things a bit more bearable for her. I'm resigned to do this until something changes. I guess it's like trying to co-parent with an abusive ex who tries to use your kids against you, as one commenter pointed out. But I have accepted the reality, and time comes that me or my non-disabled sister can bring our sister to our homes. We can consider a group home, but really, she will be able to better function more normally and live a fulfilling life by that time. That is also my sister. I mean, yeah, I would hope that yeah, this sucks, man. I kind of feel like OP is less of an asshole now. Because it's just like, like, OP only sucks because she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yeah. I mean, like, she shouldn't have to take care of her sister. But there's literally not another situation here. Like, there's just not another option. Her dad did not give her one. She wanted to live her life for a moment, and yeah, she couldn't. Dad's the asshole? Boyfriend's the asshole? She... I mean, she's a good person for picking the right thing to do. It just sucks. This really sucks. On my boyfriend, a lot of comments were dragging him for being unsupportive. But my boyfriend is extremely kind and gentle with my sister. He cares about her so much, it makes me emotional. He told me that he is very willing to just have the family with me and her in the future. Let's do that. I mean, that's the thing that I was thinking. Why not bring her along? I don't... Like, it sounds like the sister is going to be a part of your life to some degree until one of you dies. So, like, the boyfriend is going to have to get used to the sister being around to some degree. And this is a situation where, like, that might have to happen, man. Let's keep reading. He told me he's willing to have to just have a family with me and her in the future. I think he was just upset and not seeing me when we planned to do so another time. He hit the nail on the head that it has been almost a year since, and with my tight schedule of school and his business, there isn't a lot of time that we can get together. I don't blame him for his initial reaction. We came to a compromise that I would just fly to his country for the weekend when my non-disability sister has 2 days off to stay with my sister. His desire to see me and spend time with me, and that's the relationship should be. Some question, why doesn't he just come here? And what's humiliated me about me not coming? This is actually like, y'all don't have long distance relationships, so you don't understand this. But being like, yeah, my girlfriend, she's real. She lives in America or whatever. Like, she's super real and definitely not someone I made up. She's really cute. Here's a picture of her. Oh, she's coming to town. Oh, wait, she couldn't make it. You know? It could get embarrassing. I get it. There's a lot of layers there, man. Or just like, I've seen other people where there's just like, I know that like the significant other doesn't actually care about my friend, but like, they're like, oh, he couldn't make it this time, but he will. Like, he just, something came up. He'll make it next time. And I'm just like, yeah. And in that case, they actually did end up breaking up. And the dude never actually ended up flying to America until after they had broken up. He made the excuse, oh, I'm afraid of flying, so I don't want to fly. I don't want to fly. I don't want to fly. And then suddenly, as soon as they're not in a relationship, he comes to America and it's totally fine. It's like, okay. All right, asshole. I mean, I'm right that guy's an asshole in that case, right? So, I mean, it could be also like family members thinking that that's the situation, His family worries about him going to another country alone. He's already made plans with other members of his family, but he doesn't think he can cancel. His family isn't very supportive and used my canceled plans to demean our relationship. He has a lot of pride and doesn't want to give them another excuse to do so. He just wants me to show that I'm willing to put forth into our effort that he feels I haven't over the past year by traveling to see him instead of traveling to see me. I don't blame him as I've canceled twice now. Okay, here's a hot take from someone who used to be in a long distance relationship, and then my wife moved to Texas, and then we got married. Being in a long distance relationship involves so much more faith in the other person. Like, the other person could just cheat on you all the time. You have to have faith that they won't. And you have to put in the effort to talk to them every day, because you won't just randomly bump into them on the street. You won't randomly see them in class or at work or whatever, Like, you have to go out of your way and put an actual effort into being in a relationship, When me and Tilda were long distance, we would call every single night. Be like, how was your day? I will tell you, like, long distance sucks real bad, but like none of the girls around here were for me. I had to outsource it. I had to go outside of the state to find the woman in my life. So I had to actually, like, you know, I think that you have to put a little bit more work into it, you know? So I want to say initially everyone sucks down to you're not the asshole. Am I not the asshole for allowing my mom to visit and babysit behind my girlfriend's back? So I have a 5-month-old son with my girlfriend. She's from a foreign country and is the only one of her family to live here. Her sister came to the country the day she went into labor and stayed with us in our home for a month. At 3 months, her mother came to stay with us in our home for 2. How do I know that these are teenagers? Anyway, after giving birth, she basically shut my mother out completely. I had to fight with my girlfriend to allow my mom to see her grandson at all. I was on board with a little space after birth for bonding and safety, especially during COVID, RSV, and flu, etc. My mom is the sweetest lady. She's been welcoming of my girlfriend, has done everything she could to make my girlfriend feel welcome. My mom never drinks, smokes, does drugs, etc. She's not crazy. She's not physically ill. She's not narcoleptic. She's generally a sweet lady. We've had my girlfriend's family here at our home for a total of 1.5 months in the first 3 months of my son's life. My mother, on the other hand, was restricted to 5 or 6 quick meet and greets, including one dinner. I think the low bars that he's putting out there are basically just to be like, I don't understand why my girlfriend doesn't dislike my mom. He may be a mama's boy. Maybe. FF. I don't know what FF is supposed to be here. Why doesn't she want her around? Every day, 7 days a week, I wake up at 5 with the baby, let the girlfriend sleep a couple extra hours. Then she gets up, exercises, showers, out the door, back to work 3 to 4 days a week, 12 hours a day with community. Those days, I have the baby from 5 until 8 to 9 when he falls asleep. He's very physically attached and still sleeps on one of us. It's exhausting. It's very hard for me to get anything done other than be present with the baby. The other 3 days of the week, I work 8 hours a day. Life is really, really full, and I have zero time. We live in a home that I own. It's old. I'm constantly doing small projects to improve it. Additionally, it's rained like 20 inches here in the last few weeks. So you live in like LA? There's always something going on with the flooding, the mud, the gutters, etc. I also have two. I was with you for so long, but there it is. I have 2 tenants. Fuck you, you're the asshole. Landlord detected. I say to my girlfriend on and off that we allow someone to come and help us every couple hours every week. Girlfriend is completely opposed to any help at all and rejects my mom coming to help me have an afternoon for projects. He's not even wanting to do it to go like play video games or get shit faced. He just like he just wants to like pick up around the house and my girlfriend is completely opposed to any and all help and outright rejects my mom coming to let me have an afternoon for projects. She says that my mom should be in the baby's life at all family events and doesn't want my mom raising her son. This is my line. I feel like It is downright mean what she's doing to my mother. We live a couple minutes apart. I know full well that if this was her mom in this scenario, that we'd be over at grandma's all the time. If my mom only saw my son at family events, it would be barely ever. Around month 4, I said, screw it. I'm having mom over when girlfriend is at work once a week. I don't tell the girlfriend. My mom gets to come over, catch up. She spends some time with the baby making faces, playing toys like a normal grandma. I get to go outside with both hands free for a couple hours to fix the gate, unclog the gutter or whatever. Eventually I told the girlfriend and she's livid. We've had this argument a few times and I will not allow my mom to be shut out of my son's life. There you have it. Am I the asshole? You're an asshole for going behind your behind the mother's back and not knowing her who is with her baby. The mother's back. Ah, okay. Yeah, I want to know why. Y'all need therapy. She's so nice is often a yellow flag for overbearing narcissists. You may be a bit of a mama's boy, seeing no wrong from your mom. Not to be offensive, but your mom is not your primary family unit anymore. She's so nice. Yellow flag. Absolutely not. No one's nice. Absolutely. Like, the mom has to be evil. Like, what? Why is that bad? Just work less? He could. He's a landlord. I don't even know why he's doing anything in the first place. But we're assuming that he actually does work. With her working more than you and being away from her baby and other relatives, it's natural that she would worry you and your mom would be all the baby knows. She works because she chooses to. She doesn't have to. I make enough money in my 3 days to support us. We have rental income units from 2 units. My hourly equivalent is 2 times hers. We've talked about her not working or changing jobs to something closer to the less hours. I'm supportive of it. Oh, this one was removed. This one was 2 days ago. He reposted it? That's weird. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having your family help raise the kid. Like, grandparents do that. Am I the asshole for having my mother over to hang out with babysitter / babysit my 5-month-old against my wife's wishes? So is she your wife or your girlfriend? I mean, I feel like there's definitely some stuff. If I was her, I'd want a little financial independence from my landlord husband. I mean, totally valid. However, if the issue is that she wants to... What's Well, I mean, it's a throwaway account. That's people make throwaway accounts for Am I the Asshole? Because you don't want that on your main account. I'm going to say not the asshole, but he is a landlord, so he's the asshole for that. But for this specific situation, like, I don't think that he's... The partner isn't going to dislike the in-laws over nothing. I've had, listen, the way that I treat my wife, I learned from my dad and my mom, you know? My parents were really, really good role models for, like, how a functional family is supposed to be. I have had, how do they treat Tilda? Perfect. Like, you know how I said I had to go yesterday? Right? I had to go, like, a little bit early and we couldn't do stuff with Mike. It's because the car battery died. And so my parents, who were in the middle of doing some stuff, they were working on setting up a new doorbell or something like that. Drop what they were doing, drove like 30 minutes to an hour to get down to where we were, to her work, helped jump her car, and then followed her home and brought their other car just in case if we needed it. Like, my parents are awesome. And they wouldn't allow us to buy him dinner afterwards. I mean, how long and how much dedication does it take to install a doorbell? They're getting one of those fancy doorbells, so they have to figure out, like, where the breaker box is and, like, which one to turn on or off. Like, my parents are great. So anyway, I bring up that my parents are great, because my brother has had a few girlfriends that did not get along well with my folks. That is a huge fucking red flag for me. Like, my mom and dad are the sweetest people. There's absolutely no reason to dislike them. You know? So, like, if you dislike my folks, I'm like, they don't do anything offensive, man. Like, I don't know why that would be an issue, you know? So I'm sitting here thinking, like, maybe it's the girlfriend who's the weirdo. Like, why do we gotta assume that it's the parents that's the weirdo? Or the mom that's the weirdo? Like, it totally could be, but, like, we don't have that information. We're kind of going off what we got here. And assuming that's all true, which, you know, we don't know. I don't know. I don't... Yellow flag? See, how is that a yellow flag? That my parents are nice. Like... This one's deleted, but I kind of wanted to read it. I'm the asshole for asking my mother-in-law to not wash her panties in the kitchen sink. Bet you this guy's mom is also a landlord. Do we have to read this one? We can't. It's deleted. We have no way of knowing what happened here. We can read the comments. If your mother-in-law is living in your husband's house and y'all can't even stay there because she's so insufferable, you have a husband problem, not a mother-in-law problem. He needs to evict her not mop the floors to placate her. Not the asshole. You really need to be clear about who owns the house. Post says that the deed is in your husband's name, but I'm told that your comments state that your mother-in-law bought the house, but your husband is paying her mortgage. Y'all need a lawyer. Like, everything is always like divorce, evict, murder. Oh man, these are some bangers right here. Am I the asshole for stealing a package? 2 weeks ago, Amazon dropped off a package on my doorstep. Left it there, went to the store. When I came back, it was still there. Took a look inside. What? Why? You're 3 sentences in and you committed a crime. Why? Like, the address is on it. And surely if there's not, like, there's a name on it and you could just, like... You've committed a felony now. Why? When I say be gay, do crime, I mean, like... do useful crimes? Make the world a better place by doing a crime? Like feeding homeless people or something? Not just like do random crimes. Though, because it's Amazon and not USPS, is it still a federal crime? My God, I have no idea. Actually, I have no idea. I mean, it's Amazon's fault, probably. The crimes that you should be committing, when I say, like, be gay, do crimes, when I say be gay, I mean be true to yourself. And if you're gay, be gay. If you're trans, be trans. If you're straight, be straight. Don't try and pretend to be a thing that you're not, because you don't live long enough to not be happy. And then do crimes is about morality and laws are not the same thing. So, like, if what it takes to be a good person involves doing crimes, then do crimes. You know? Like, MLK got to go to prison a lot because he wanted black people to not get beat up or treated poorly. You had a lot of other stuff that he talked about. We ignore that because it doesn't allow us to have a very cool conversation about him. But he was like super, like, what's the point of being able to sit at, you know, the lunch bar if, you know, the black man can't afford the burger or whatever? Which is like, yeah, maybe we should stop simping for all these awful people as well. I'm paraphrasing a bit. But, like, you know, his speech about the white moderate is still constantly overlooked. I was doing my best to quote him, but I realized I couldn't remember exactly what he said. I'm okay on burger. Okay, there's a street here in Austin called Martin Luther King Boulevard. What good is it to have the right to sit at a lunch counter if you can't afford to buy a hamburger? That's the quote. Like, I think that MLK realized that the issues that he was having were not just about racism. There's a lot of issues that he was trying to fix, and we simplified the history of it that he just wanted to get rights for black people. And that's not all he was about. Yeah, the recommendation for the bit about the white moderate is like so fucking crucial if you're going to do any protest stuff. All right, Last night, the owner of the package knocked on the door loudly. Okay, wait. How did we get there? When it came... Oh, because I said be gay, do crimes. When it came back, it was still there. I took it inside, called customer service. After being asked for and giving the associate name, tracking number, and contents of said package, I was told their policy was either keep it or trash it. I kept a part of it and threw the rest away. Last night, the owner of the package knocked on my door loudly, answered it. I answered and she immediately accused me of stealing her stuff. I apologized and asked what she was talking about. I had completely forgotten about it at this point. She mentioned that she had a camera in her car and it recorded Amazon dropping off the item. No? No, you didn't. That's an absolute lie. I apologized and asked her what she was talking about. I'd completely forgotten at this point. She mentioned that she had a camera in her car and recorded Amazon dropping off the item. Plus, they take photos of the house number, and she was contemplating getting the police involved. I remember the items and asked about the specific one. She confirmed that it was hers, then went into a story about Amazon not placing the items or refunding her money. And I again apologized, explained the situation, my actions, and what I was told by Amazon. And since I still had one part of her package, I gave it to her. She left after repeating her concerns and assumptions about a thievery. Today, literally 30 minutes ago, I learned that she previously took her complaints to the only neighbor that I know and am friendly with in the complex, bothering him at his job for over 10 minutes, calling my family thieves and threatening police action. Am I the asshole for keeping and trashing someone else's property? The individual apartment unit's number was not on the package, just her name, townhouse, condo complex itself. There's no manager, no lobby, no communal area, no communal mailbox. It's a townhouse condo type situation. I also didn't know her before last night, so I don't exactly speak to neighbors except mainly for the one. Yeah, Amazon does not scrutinize their stuff all that well. Yeah, to call it a conspiracy that MLK was assassinated by the US government is not quite accurate. They did confirm that they did it. So, or at least they were sued and were successfully sued for it. I think that they're not the asshole and that this person should go and talk to Amazon about getting a replacement. You didn't send it to the right location. I didn't get it. And then you get to keep 2 copies of whatever the thing is. Amazon's the asshole. Surprisingly. Oh my god. As far as I understand the JFK thing, there's no conspiracy there. It just sucks. Like, I've had that happen to me. Like, I got a package dropped off by Amazon that wasn't mine, so I just put it at the mailbox and was like, this ain't my problem. And then they came by and they said, hey, did you get it? Like, because we got a picture of your doorstep. You know? Like, you tell Amazon and they just continue the worker abuse by handing employees 5 more bottles to piss in. Yeah, it just happens, you know? Like, I told them where it was. They got mad at me. I told him to go get it. Like, it's not my fault. And if they don't get it, then that's on them. That's on them or whoever delivered it. It's not on me. It's not my responsibility to take care of your shit. Same as it's not his responsibility here. Am I the asshole for making my ex pay me to watch her son? Oh boy. I'm gonna read this one and I'm gonna probably go get a drink and then we might switch up what we're doing. But why would you open a package that doesn't have your name on it, though? That is weird. But, okay. So happened, folks, because this requires some long reading, and I'm on mobile, so there may be spelling mistakes. I broke up with my boyfriend. 7-year age difference. At that age, it doesn't really matter. When our son was 2. So, she was 37 and he was 44. That's, I mean, honestly, once you get past like maybe like 25, like you can have a bit of a range there and it's not too bad. Like, yeah, he was 7 when she was born, but like that's not when they met. When my son was 2, our breakup was bad, but after a few months, we managed to have an amicable co-parenting existence. We never went to court for custody. We kind of just figured out a schedule ourselves that was mostly 50-50. We both travel a lot for a job, so we just call each other up and say, I'm leaving town this week. Can you take him? There were no problems with this. In effect, we co-parented like effing bosses and now are fairly good friends. For the most part. He's a great dad, and he's always paid for expenses and spends quality time with our son, who's now 7. Oh, no, so she was... So that was 5 years ago. She was 34 and he was 41. Yeah. When he moves, the rental situation where I live was pretty much non-existent. So he moved into my house, which was supposed to be temporary, but he's still living with me now, which is, for the most part, has been fine up until the last few months. Okay. X got a new job, and it's been very grueling manual labor that requires him to work 6 days a week from 9 to 7. He usually doesn't get home until 7:30 to 8 because sometimes he has to work overtime. He makes great money at his job, but I don't benefit because all of our expenses are split evenly. Why would you benefit from someone that you're not in a relationship? Like... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, once you get to like 20, as long as both people are like about 25 or older, it stops being a thing. Because at like 25, like, you got your shit together to some degree. I say that as someone who's turning 35 this year, question mark. Yeah, 35 this year. Next month, in fact. Speaking of which, my wife's birthday is on the 3rd, so I'm going to be doing a charity fundraiser in honor of her called the I'm doing a charity for my wife because it's Women's Heart Day, and there's nothing wrong with her heart. I just love her a lot, and this seemed like a cool thing to do. Charity. I'm working on the name. I'm workshopping it some, but you get the idea. Like, there's nothing wrong with her heart. But, you know, seemed like a good day to do it. She's got to work anyway. Figure I do that until she comes home. Is it going to be poo again? Probably. Problem is that I work from home. I end up having to do 100% of... Okay, wait. Working from home, it's nice because we don't have to pay for a babysitter. The problem is that I work from home and I end up having to do 100% of the childcare, shuttling my son to and from school, homework, baths, school activities, reading, doing his laundry. And also, because my ex is never home, I ended up doing the household stuff like dishes and vacuuming. On my ex's one day off, he just wants to relax, which I get because he totally has a really manually intensive job. My ex makes great money, but there's no advantage for me Okay, that's the second time you brought that up. Because everything is split 50-50. We're not married, so I don't benefit in any way. That's the third time you've said that. Recently, I told him that he'll have to pay more in bills or pay me to babysit 50% of the time I'm watching our son. My reasoning is that if we didn't happen to end up living together, he would have to hire a babysitter to do all the things I do on the days that I wouldn't have our son. He thinks because I work from home, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, working from home is still work. You know? It's not a big deal. He thinks it's because I work from home, it's not a big deal. I take care of my son, and he thinks it's ridiculous that I have to pay the mother of his child to essentially babysit. I'm beyond overwhelmed with no help, and having my son around during my work hours, he gets out of school at 2, is really affecting my job performance. He thinks I should better manage my time, and thinks I'm the asshole for even suggesting that he should pay me normally what would be his custody days with our son. Feel like I shouldn't be penalized from working from home. Am I the asshole? Quick edit. I didn't think this part was relevant, as it has nothing to do with our situation, but I've been getting a lot of crap for moving. To be clear, I lived in Florida way longer than I wanted to because I didn't want to take my son away from his father. As much as I hated Florida, the tipping point for me moving was I started having seizures and other health problems, and doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. My mom and sister offered to move me up to North Carolina so I could be closer to family and get help for medical issues. My ex was very supportive of me moving, absolutely loves living up in the mountains. So the fact that I moved shouldn't be a factor in this, at least not in my opinion. She's not the asshole? Like, he's wrong, she's wronger. Like, maybe she should ask him to pay for the babysitter half the time? Like, ask him to pay for the nanny. Yeah. Instead of her getting the money, you know? Because then it's like, okay, this is clearly about the son, not the kid. Or the kid, not about the mom getting more money. Because, like, you can just explain things like a normal person, be like, look, this is affecting my job. I don't have all the time in the world to take care of our kid, and I just need a little help. And I know that you can't because you're working 6 days a week, and I don't think it has to be a split nanny payment. Like, it's on him that he can't take care of his kid half the time. Like, I kind of get where she's coming from. I think there's a better solution to this than asking for the money straight out. I think asking, like, hiring a person to do it for you would be less scummy feeling. I don't think that she should have to pay for the nanny because is taking care of the kid. You know? Like, this entire time. He's the one that's not. And she needs to be able to have free time and be able to do her job. How much money are we even talking? Who knows? Yeah, let me go get some water and then maybe we okay, this sounds super based, so maybe we read this one and then we switch. Okay. Am I the asshole for leaving my family on Christmas after they gave me a Switch? So I'm 26, trying to go to my parents' house on the holidays. Even though we have a strained relationship as some backgrounds, here's some abandonment issues feeling discarded as some context. So at the start of this last December, my Switch got stolen. This is an important part of the story. It had literally thousands of hours logged on Pokemon games, along with some rare Pokemon called Shinies. Had been super hyped up for competitive play to start back up, and I had been grinding hard for it. Was absolutely devastated when it was stolen, to the point that I'm contemplating getting up competing in games entirely. I'm still not fully over how all my handiwork was snatched away from me. Kid, this is Reddit. They know about Shiny. Shh. Shh. I mean, it's good context, and like at least the mods aren't like, you know. So snap forward to Christmas Eve, and I'm working a double. I'm a GM at a small store, general manager at a small store. Never want my employees to feel forced to work on holidays. I get off exhausted. I usually get off to porn, but I mean, whatever gets you off, man. My mother forgot that she was supposed to give me a ride and sent my brother instead. We get to their house, and they're wrapping presents. They hardly acknowledge that I'm there, so I just take a nap. When my brother gets back, he wakes me up and we celebrate the way anyone in their mid-20s would and pass out. So my little sister, 8, wakes us up excitedly to open presents. And obviously, my brother and I are a little groggy after drinking too much. Well, my sister hands my brother a present. It's a box of chocolates, and then hands me a PS controller. I don't own the console, and my mother says, "Oh, the PlayStation controllers are for the family." I kind of just blow it off. Next, my brother gets a blanket. My sister hands me a box. I open it, it's a Switch. And my mom says, "Oh, it's a Switch for the family," which I know they had gotten themselves ahead of time. I just didn't expect them to hand it to me 2 weeks, to open 2 weeks after I got mine stolen with it fresh in my mind. Then I told my brother I had to leave after telling my parents off for not considering how I'd feel when they'd given my sister a present, and to have me open to not giving when they gave my wait. I then told my brother I had to leave after telling my parents off for not considering how I'd feel when they had given my sister the present to have me open, and left. Oh, so they gave the Switch to the 8-year-old, and they're like, "That's for your brother over there." And then the 8-year-old takes the thing and then gives it to OP. And then OP opens it, and it's a Switch, and the family is like, "Oh, the Switch is for the family, though. Not for you. You're not part of the family." What the fuck are you doing? Like, literally, why do that? Divorce your family. Divorce and evict family. Later, my mother and I talked to, and she apologized for not considering my feelings, but I still can't help but feel like I overreacted when they were just trying to include me in their family event. Okay. Like, when someone let me put it to you this way. If I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have a party, guys. I'm gonna have a party and Chad is invited," you know? And you come over and I'm making food, right? And you're here, and I've made some food, but I've only made 2 plates. I go, oh, will you hand that to my wife? I made food for me and my wife, not you. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't make you anything. Like, that's weird, right? Sweetened? Okay. Like, why did you give him gifts that weren't functionally for him? Like, normally when you give out gifts, you give a gift to everyone? Like, even if it's just like a token, like, oh, we got you $20. You know? It's like, yeah, your parents suck. They only gave you $20. And like, why did you invite him over? Why is it, wait, does he live here? We get to their house. He doesn't live there, but they knew he was coming. This feels like emotional manipulation. Yeah. It's like, why did you invite him over not for Christmas? Then not give him presents. Then hand him presents that weren't his. And then tell them that they were for the family, which for some reason excludes him. Does that make sense? Like, oh, it's for the family. Like, it feels exclusionary in that context. Like, and that they did that for 2 gifts is really weird. Like, maybe give the controller, but that's still weird. And be like, oh, that's for the family, but we, you know, it'd be nice to have an extra controller for when you come over. And then you give the Switch to someone else, and then when you see his face fall because he just got his Switch stolen, be like, it's for the whole family. If you want to come over and play it, that's totally fine. When I say they got it for the family, they mean for the household. I haven't lived with my parents for nearly 10 years and rarely get to visit. This is why I make it a point to attend holidays. A lot of comments have pointed out that it sounds like they gave me gifts or were replacing it. Gave me the gift or were replacing it. They had effectively gotten themselves a Twitch and had me open it. That's why it felt malicious at the time. Just to further elaborate on that. Again, it wasn't a malicious thing they did by having me open it, but they didn't elaborate until later on. But with her history, I took it as maliciously because at the time, it's what I had grown up expecting. I mean, it is. Like, the people who emotionally manipulated you and treated you like shit and like you didn't matter when you were a kid did not give you gifts, but when they gave you gifts, they handed you things that weren't yours and were like, this is for the household, which you are not part of. What the fuck is wrong with your parents? Like, legitimately, like, the fuck? Did I misread this? Like, people in chat are disagreeing with me, and I'm confused. Did they give him any presents? That's a good question. There's another one somewhere. I don't know where. Not the asshole, but you really need to clarify your post, because half of the you're the assholes are people who think that the family bought you a new Switch, or that you live with your family and have access to the family Switch. I think a lot of us are confused on why OP's family opens presents for each other on Christmas. Maybe it's I grew up weird, but my brother opened his presents, I opened my presents, and my mom opened her presents. Yeah. I mean, they did give him the Switch to open, but it wasn't for him. If it's for you, teach them a lesson. Take it home with them. They can't do anything about it. It's your gift. They could report it for theft. Switch is for the family, yet... Okay, so because I have the slash there, it's not picking up on stuff. 26-year-old who plays way too much video and needs a ride from his mother, proceeds to get drunk and passes out, storms out after a gift wasn't for him. Well, I don't like the fact that she had you open someone else's present. I'm sensing a maturity problem here. You play video games? Are you a fucking child? Like, how are any of those things related? I played thousands of hours over multiple years. How is that too much video games? My girlfriend and I share a car, so I have to get rides from the family or Uber when she has it. I got drunk with my brother on a holiday, the first time in 8 months, and we passed out more from a mixture of exhaustion, me from working a double, and the alcohol relaxing us. Just to clarify those things. I didn't expect anything. So basically, you got nothing for Christmas. I didn't expect anything. I just know how much Christmas means to my little sister and I wanted to be there for her. Not the asshole. They're just being passive-aggressive. I don't know if it's passive-aggressive is quite right. I'm sorry for the loss of your Pokemon. I had about 126 IV bred Pokemon lost on my Sword and Shield save file. Big dick. Leagues of ass. Ouch, I feel that, man. My 3DS got stolen about 6 years ago after I had finished hunting 5 IV shiny Lando Calrissians. I had to blow... It always blows to lose a huge portion of your collection like that. Thankfully, most of my bred mons on home, but the shinies I was working on bottle capping and using capsules on. So she's buying gifts for the family under the guise that they're simi for you too. Did she even get you anything that you actually get to keep? She did fill the stocking up with candy. That's the closest thing I can consider outside of the $20 she gave me later. Reminder, download Pokemon Bank on 3DS before March 2023. Won't be able to until after then. Okay. I mean, I called the $20. That seems like what the parents are going to do, yeah. I don't care about the presents, more the fact that she had me open a present that she bought for herself effectively that was exactly what I had just lost. Less about the gift and more about the way they had me open it. Yeah, I mean, that's just like soft. You're soft for your parents bullying you. If you get emotionally abused by your parents, you're soft. Fuck you. Yeah, I'd have never taken it because it's theirs. It would have been funny if I had, but I never would actually do it. Okay, so he didn't actually steal the Switch. After talking to my mother, I only kind of bring it up now because I don't know if I was in the right or the wrong for leaving. I know it was kind of absent-minded mistake on her end when it happened. I just, man, it's, I'm gonna have to talk to her. Normally my sister would open gifts for their household because child wants to open more presents. Fucking right! It doesn't matter if it's for the whole family. But you open the fucking gift. You let the kid open all the gifts that it doesn't matter, you know? Why have the kid that just got his Switch stolen, who you gave 20 bucks to and nothing else? My sister got a video game, but my parents, brother, and grandma told me to focus on myself, and me putting in the effort and trying to be part of the family was good enough for them. My brother is moving in with me, so maybe I can retroactively gift him not paying bills for a month or two. Okay, so he didn't give gifts. I don't know as if I would, I'm gonna have to check the context on that later. Like, get a gift for your brother and your kid's sister. I got my, okay, so he got his sister video games. But my parents, brother, and grandma told me to focus on myself, and putting in the effort to try and be part of the family was good enough for them. My brother is moving in, so maybe I can retroactively gift him not paying bills for a month or two. JK. But no, not beyond the little sister, which every family member said they were okay with. But when I asked if they wanted something, but personally, I didn't mind the lack of a gift. It was more feeling like they spit in my face, that they had to upset me rather than, like, yeah, I mean, not beyond my little sister, which every member of the family said they were okay with when they asked if they wanted something. Personally, I didn't mind the lack of a gift. Right. A girlfriend is the same way as you. I bought her a Switch, some games, accessories last year, and she's like, stop, just let me have your company. If we need something, I can get it. Still surprised her with presents, though. I might. That's a good point. Thank you for your new perspectives. I'd say not the asshole. Also, someone said the guy saying soft. Butt Stallion. I'll read his history. He's a fan of Dan Cummins, which is good. I think he's funny. He's absolutely obsessed about the fucking Whipple reference. I don't know why. Who? He's a comedian. He has a show where he reads horror stories with his wife, and then he's got another one where he just talks about random historical moments and stuff. It's sort of like puppet history made for assholes. Sir Zer, thank you for the 2 years of support. Holy shit. That is awesome. Thank you so much. 2 years. Man, like yesterday was everyone's like major day, and then Sir Zer is in here with his major day. I don't know. What happened like 2-ish years ago that like people decided to subscribe to me? Like the fuck did I do? I guess I'm still doing it if people decide to keep like subbing to me. Like what? But Homestuck. Town of Nowhere and Homestuck. Okay. Okay. I don't agree with him on a lot of like political takes that he has. But Dan Cummins has some good bits. The fucking Whipple bit is like, it's fine. But yeah, no, this kid is absolutely fucking obsessed with it, and he keeps referencing it. Like, if people don't know that reference, it makes no sense. Someone asked, like, what kind of political takes? He's like a libertarian, but not a total dickwad. I actually started branching out and watching other people in Vinesauce. L, thank you for the 6 months of support. That's very kind of you. I'm trying to remember something that he said that I disagreed with. I can't remember anything off the top of my head. I came when you were still doing Flash games, only kind of watched the streams, didn't start watching you more until Homestuck in the Town of Nowhere. Wow. I wouldn't say he's a gold standard of being a good person, but he's like not bad. Just sometimes he says stuff and it's like, you have a lot of money, don't you? I've been watching since Chitango. People who have stuck around since Chitango are a wild bunch. Zamacton, ZT Macton, thank you for the 11 months of support. Super cool of you. Thank you so much. Rumple Foreskin, that is an ancient name, yes. Over 10 years of lurking. Yeah, damn. Wow. I've been here since year 2. Or Y2. I have to assume that's year 2. That's wild. I've been here since 2010. Holy shit! Someone could... Wait. I've been streaming that long? How is that real? I don't... Why am I old? I've been here since 3. Hi, Bun Time. I miss the forums. Wow. Wow. In 2010, I was 9. Okay. Before the face cam, I thought you were 18 by your voice. Okay. It's good, because I'm getting some gray hairs. Quite a few of them. Getting a bit of a salt and pepper thing going on. Maliciousness, thank you for the 58 months of support. It's very cool of you. Thank you so much. What was your first Vinesauce stream? My first Vinesauce stream was one of Vinny's first, and it was Chrono Trigger, and he had just gotten to Aussie. And I was like, I like watching other people play I like watching other people play JRPGs. It's good background music, good background sound for when I'm doing stuff. Oh, first thing I streamed on Vinesauce was Omegle trolling. Or pretend to be drawing people on Omegle, and then I'd turn it around and it'd be like a picture of Ronald McDonald with huge tits. Or Charles Barkley and Wilford Brimley as dinosaurs when they're fucking. Or I can't think of any of the other ones. I'd be like, hey, I've got this art assignment. I got to draw some stuff for class, and I was supposed to draw this over the last like week or so, or like couple months, but I just didn't have time, and you know, it's due tomorrow. Would you mind if I draw you? Yeah, just like, yeah, if you want to go get props, that's fine. Go ahead and get some props. Let me just go ahead and I'll draw you. Yeah, I'm definitely drawing you right now. I'm definitely drawing you. Had to stop doing that because a lot of people were just using it, unsurprisingly, to jerk off. And I always tell this story because it's important. The reason I stopped doing Omegle as much was that one time there was a guy jerking off, and I just started yelling at him. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you, man? People are trying to use this service, and you're just jerking off. Like, the fuck is that? And I remember Vinny sidelining me, and he was like, hey, some people from chat told me that you yelled at a guy's dick for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. He's like, can you not do that? Like, I mean, he's not my boss, but like, yeah, that's fair. All right, I'm gonna go get some water. And then we're gonna have to figure out what we're doing. Let's see, we could do so I've got this game called Forklift Load, which is what I was gonna do. We could do other stuff too. That's what I meant by getting forklift certified. Can you actually get forklift certified, like, online? Like, I said that as a joke, but... So you have to go to a place. How much does it cost to get a forklift license? Forklift certification packages are just $59.95 for each course, so it's like $10 cheaper than a video game. Okay. Like, how many courses do I have to take? How much do forklift drivers make an hour in Texas? $15 an hour. That's pretty okay, man. Considering minimum wage is like $7.25, like, that's pretty okay. Like, you could actually live on that. 23. Fuck, man, that's awesome. Like, do they pay for your certification? Sir, forklift certification 100% online. Hold up. Hold the phone, guys. I can get real forklift certified. Look at this. The Forklift Certification Institute. Definitely a real legitimate sounding thing. I didn't have to pay. I got taught and certified at work. Step 1, enroll in our course. Step 2, pass your exam. Step 3, receive your certifications. I mean, this seems a little not legit. Like, please don't quit streaming. to become a forklift operator. I mean, like, dude, if this whole streaming thing goes tits up, maybe I don't have to start drawing furry porn. Why not stream forklifting? I don't know. I mean, like, do you think anyone who does forklifting... Okay, well, there's literally one person in chat who... I'm not gonna lie, driving a forklift is pretty easy. Draw yourself drawing forklift porn. I can ride a skateboard. Anyway, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, get some water. Give me like a minute and a half.